Hi, Amanda. No, kitty. Go sniff around. I watched your video on about your thoughts on suicide, and I watched Fred's video, and none of those thoughts have occurred to me except for one of Fred's, which was waking up in the morning. He'd wake up in the morning, essentially say, "Oh man, I'm still alive." And at one point in time in my life, I woke up in the morning and I'd feel this kind of simple joy of being rested and warm and comfortable, and coffee will be ready soon, and then all of a sudden I'd think about my day, and then after coffee, and suddenly I'd realize, oh yeah, I forgot my day is going to be hellish, and so will the day after that, and the month after that, and this hellish experience went on for over a year, and towards the end of that, when it started going on like a year and a half, just life being a misery, I went to go see a counselor, and my life was being made a misery essentially by others, and I started seeing a counselor about it, and at one point in time, the misery I was being dished out was upped a notch, and my counselor said, "So are you considering suicide?" And I'm like, "No," and started to say like, "No, it's not that. It's just that." And she's like, "Well, before you just rush past with that answer, why don't we talk about how you're feeling?" And yeah, so I found myself having to express why I don't feel suicidal, which eventually got me laughing, which was, I know, is odd and probably a bad sign, but I just, like, it's just not my nature. Like, I can be miserable, but I also take like simplistic passionate joy at a really good pair of socks, and every single time I put them on, I'm like, oh, I love these socks so much. And the same thing with, like, mud puddles and leaves falling from trees, like, and also, like, I forget stuff a lot, and sometimes I'll be walking along and I'll remember it, and it's almost like secret knowledge. I don't think, like, how did I forget that? Instead, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that, and it's almost like, it's like somebody whispered some lost knowledge to me that somebody was me. But that always, every time that happens, I'm always like, startlingly happy about it. Yeah, I mean, I have propensity for, like, all sorts of different kinds of emotions. I could feel these terrible things, but I think that however I'm wired, I think I just get, like, I got some sort of silly circuit inside me that is like some sort of safety valve. And I'm always seeing things that kind of blow me away. And actually, like, I go to the Food Garden, the Foolish Productions Garden, a lot. And so I'm really familiar with that area, and every time I'm there, I see something new. And I mean, I really look at that area too. And last time I was there, I saw two new things. Fungus growing up high in trees, and a muddy bank that really highlights that coyotes use the freeway as a freeway, and then come underneath the ditches where water pours through, to hunt in the fields, and then they go back to the freeway to escape from people, which is weird. But I keep thinking to myself, like, if I've been there, 100 times or more, and I still see new things there, I don't know, it just seems like not only does new things always seem to arise, but my ability to forget old things and then re-remember them almost doubles up the amount of revelation that a day might hold. Yeah, so, like, Yeah, like Fred says, this isn't advice to anybody. It's just, I guess, talking about inner workings and whatnot. And sometimes I think that, like, it's like I imagine, like, going up to, like you talked about, like looking at Kevorkian videos. I imagine going up to Kevorkian's R Us, and I'm like, yeah, I'd like to check out, please. Close the book, as Fred said. And they're like, oh yeah, oh, we've already taken care of that. And I'm like, oh, will it happen soon? They're like, oh yeah, it'll happen soon. Like, oh well, I mean, soon by earlier than normal? Oh yeah, soon by earlier than normal. No problem. Just go about your business. It'll happen soon. And then they never actually do anything, except they cash your check. Because we're all going to cash our checks. Aren't we? Okay, alright, well, that's my thoughts on the matter, which isn't really a whole lot of thought, but I wanted to share them nonetheless, so I'll see you in the tubes, Amanda.